Check, check. Hopefully the lapel mic is actually working today. Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. And on this pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things, we have many stuff and things to talk about, including upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays. We're going to talk about a demon ant that is destroying the internet. Fun story. We'll get into my Christmas or holiday season uploading schedule for Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays. And then, of course, we have lots of good feedback and discussion topics in hashtag askstuffandthings. So let's get going. Okay, upcoming videos. What can you look forward to on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays? We will be talking a bit more about the upload schedule for the holidays, but for videos pretty much in order that you can expect them coming up on the channel next, we will have the review, I don't have it with me because I finished the tin, of GLP's Maltese Falcon. That will be posting this coming Wednesday. The Wednesday after that, I should have the timeless style video for the Navy Peacoat, and I actually wore it today. Let's see here. I took it to the tailor to fix some problems that it had, and then I got it cleaned, and here it is. This is my beautiful 1966 Navy issue Peacoat. This is what is called a reefer's coat. It's for officers or for chief petty officers, so it has the brass buttons, and it also has a little section here where you can attach epaulets. It's basically the same coat as the enlisted coat, except for the brass buttons and the epaulet thingy there. Officers could also wear bridge coats, but if they don't want to wear the bridge coat, they could wear these reefers jackets. And if you were an officer, you would have to have your rank insignia. If you were a chief petty officer, you wouldn't have that rank insignia. Anyway, it's an amazing coat. It's a beautiful coat. It's made out of a kersey wool, which they don't make them out of anymore. And actually, in 2016, I think the Navy phased out issuing peacoats. They have some sort of nylon parka now. I think you could still get a peacoat and wear it as part of your uniform as you want, if you want, but you have to pay for it yourself. Maybe if anyone's in the Navy now, they can confirm that. But the peacoats made for the US Navy after around 1980, they don't use this kersey wool anymore. They use a Melton wool, and it feels a little thinner. It's not as smooth on the surface here. It kind of pills up a little more. And I think this kersey wool is just beautiful. It's this deep, dark navy. This is just a beautiful coat. I absolutely love it. And we'll be doing a timeless style video on this coat soon. So stay tuned for that. Next, we will be doing a review of the Endless Stationery Explorer Notebook. I've been using this for a couple weeks now. I'm going to continue to use this, and we will do a full review soon. We also had their creative block tear-off pad we'll be looking at, and then inside this notebook they also included their cotton wallet, which I really like. This guy here, very useful for holding different things, ink cartridges and stuff like that. I've been using ink cartridges with my Lamy Safari when I'm taking it out and about because it's just easier than trying to actually bring bottled ink with it. So, full review of the Endless Stationery products coming up after the timeless style video. So we're gonna have the GLP's Maltese Falcon, then next week, the week after that, we'll have the timeless style video, and then maybe the week after that, we'll have the Endless Stationery. We'll talk about the timing of that, but that will be the next video, whether it's the week after or the week after that, not totally sure. And then we might have a little Merry Christmas video on Christmas itself, and then the Elden Ring series is continuing every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday on Stuff and Things Plays. A lot going on. Okay, I had to do this story because the other day I was listening to a podcast and somebody mentioned a picture that they had seen probably on Twitter or someplace like that that was one of the most horrifying things they had ever seen in their life. And I, of course, had to look it up and see what all this was about. And it was basically a picture of an ant that they said looked like a horrific demon straight out of a nightmare. And so I looked it up. I found an article on the Washington Post. This is by Maria Louisa Powell from the Washington Post. This was actually posted October 24th, 2022, so we may be a little late to the party here, but I still think it's really interesting. Maria says, a close-up photo of a carpenter ant was honored with a distinction in Nikon's 2022 Small World Photomicrography competition. There are an estimated 20 quadrillion ants all over the planet, except in Antarctica, a bummer considering the continent's name. But a close-up shot of a carpenter ant that started making the rounds last week bears almost no resemblance to the cutesy, cartoonish faces brought to life in films like Disney Pixar's A Bug's Life or DreamWorks' Ants. Instead, the image by Lithuanian photographer Eugenius Kavaliauskas is reminiscent of a horror movie with the carpenter ant's antenna poking out of eerie red circles and its jaw looking like an alien saber-toothed grin. Let me show you the photograph now. That is remarkable. It's horrifying and amazing. I absolutely love this. I thought it was the coolest thing I'd seen in a very long time. I have a macro lens for my camera, the camera that I'm using to film this video right now, and obviously it doesn't have the power that I think it was a, where does it say here? Kavaliauskas, the photo he captured, blah, 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 blah. So he magnified an ant's face 5 times under a stereo 10 times microscope. So my macro lens, I think, has a 1.4 magnification power. So obviously I'm not going to be able to get any pictures like the horrifying carpenter ant face, but it is still really cool taking a look at things really close up in a way that you don't normally get to see them with the naked eye. It just shows, it's a whole different perspective for looking at different, just common everyday objects, animals, bugs, flowers, things like that. And so to see a picture like this that is really, really zoomed in, you see ants, you can see their mandibles, you can see their antennae, you can see their eyes as they're wandering around, but you don't get to see that amount of detail, and it's just amazing. And I love it. I'll show you a picture of a carpenter ant that's zoomed out a little bit, and you'll be able to see that doesn't look that horrifying. It's just a nice little ant's face. You can see the eyes. The thing about the picture that we saw earlier, the horror picture, is that the antenna actually look like the eyes in the picture because you can't really see the eyes. I think you see maybe part of one of the eyes in the way that picture is framed. But when you see it zoomed out a little bit, looks fine. But if you just zoom in a little bit more, you magnify it a bit more, you get the lighting just right. Horrifying. Let me read a little bit more of this article. The photo he captured is an example of God's design. This is a quote from Kavaliauskas. God's designs and the many interesting, beautiful, unknown miracles under people's feet. There are horrors in nature. There are no horrors in nature, only lack of knowledge. When I began photomicrography, and before that, I was like everyone else, all beetles and insects were monsters to me. Now the situation is turned upside down. Many insects are not as pleasing to the eye as a cat. Yeah, but it all depends on your point of view. Scientists have calculated how many ants are on Earth. The number is so big it's, quote, unimaginable. The idea to photograph a carpenter ant, a species that chews through wood to engineer tunnels for its nests, came by looking at the little bugs crawling in the trees in the forest near his home in Tauragė, Lithuania. He landed on the image by playing around with the shadows and light hitting the ant's face. The zoomed-in photo actually makes the ant look a bit more menacing than it should. For instance, the red spheres in the ant's seemingly sneering face aren't its eyes, which are hidden in the shot. They're where its antennae start. And the sharp-looking things coming out of its jaw are actually teeny tiny trigger hairs used to communicate and sense the environment around them. If you would have taken a picture of the same ant's head just a little bit further back, it would have been almost cute, said Miles Maxer, a National Science Foundation graduate research fellow with the University of Florida's Department of Entomology and Nematology. I swear some ants can be really cute and fuzzy. So I just saw this picture. I thought it was amazing. I've been, playing Elden Ring on my other channel, Stuff and Things Plays, and From Software, the development company that made Elden Ring, is really good at making unspeakable horrors and putting them on your screen, things that you have to fight in battle. And you could just copy and paste the close-up of that carpenter's ant's face, slap it on one of the evil bosses in a FromSoft game, and it would look amazing and it would be perfectly in place. I just thought that was cool. The horrific alien evil demon ant's face. As we have mentioned, Christmas is coming, the holiday season is here, and my upload schedule may be a little bit different. Let me get my calendar up here. Doobity-doo. Okay, so I am recording this right now on December 10th. This will post on December 11th. On December 14th, the Maltese Falcon review will be posting. The weekend coming up, the weekend of the 17th and 18th, Diamond is leaving. She's going back home for the holidays. So I'm going to be doing some stuff that weekend with her, and I'm still going to try to get the timeless style video for the Peacoat out for the 21st, the Wednesday after that. Then, obviously, Christmas is on the 25th, Christmas Eve is on the 24th, so that's Saturday and Sunday, the time when I'm usually working on videos. So depending on how everything goes, I may or may not have a video for you guys on December 28th, the Wednesday after Christmas. That may have to wait until January 4th. I'm just not sure if I'm gonna have the time. I will do a nice little video on the 28th that won't be a normal Sunday Stuff and Things, but just nice little Christmas wishes, checking in with you on the holidays. And I just hope that all of you are gonna have some wonderful holidays, holiday festivities coming up. And like I said, depending on how busy I am, we'll see how often I'm able to check in with you guys and post videos. Hopefully you will not get too impatient if I'm not able to post something on the 28th, but I will let you know. Now, gang, it is time for hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet at @SATBradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings. You can also send me questions via Patreon and go to the front of the line. You can use the super thanks button on YouTube, and that will also put you to the front of the line, or you can leave comments, feedback, and questions on my YouTube videos themselves. So, first, via Twitter, we have a comment from Jason Hexeter Hunt at Hexeter. They say, "Aye, Bradley, Elden Ring picked up Game of the Year at the Game Awards tonight." Thank you for alerting me to that, Hexeter, and I had kind of forgotten about that. I knew the Game Awards were coming. I don't put much stock in the Game Awards, but it's still fun to hear that Elden Ring won Game of the Year. I think the last FromSoft game, Sekiro, won Game of the Year at the Game Awards as well. And, you know, I haven't played every game. I've hardly played any game other than Elden Ring this year, but I can't imagine any game being any better than it. It is one of the best games I've ever played. I love it immensely. I think it's amazing, and you guys should check out the series on Stuff and Things Plays if you haven't yet. Next, via YouTube, a super thanks from Matt Gus. Thank you very much, Matt. Matt says, "Thanks for everything you do for our pipe community. Great commentary with a sense of humor and honest reviews." Well, thank you, Matt. Now we have some feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. This is from Big Ern Bladesmith. Ern says, "I have one piece of advice for those turning 40. Work out. Keep that body fit. A lot of aches and pains get a little better when your muscles are strong. Plus, it might even stave off a few other aging diseases for a bit longer. It also keeps that sickness that we shall not speak of from being so bad. Don't be like me and wait until something happens to start getting fit. I've lost 50 pounds of fat so far, and it really helps with my heart health. My cardiologist says he only needs to see me once a year now." That's great, Ern. Thank you very much for sharing that, and I agree with that completely. A lot of the afflictions that people think go hand in hand with age, or that have to go hand in hand with age, can really be staved off if you keep yourself in good physical shape. And a lot of people think, oh, you can't once you get older. Once you get older, you're gonna get fat, you're gonna get weak, you're gonna get whatever. But if you maintain a good level of physical fitness into your 40s, into your 50s and 60s, you will feel a lot younger, you'll feel a lot better, and you will stave off a lot of those things. Just, it's easier to maintain, like Big Ern says, than to go to the doctor, and they'll tell you, oh, your cholesterol's horrible, you need to lose a bunch of weight, worried about your heart, and then have to sort of make up for lost time and get back to a level of health. Just try to maintain a good level of health. If you're in your 20s or in your 30s, get in shape now and maintain that. And that'll be easier to do than trying to get healthy once you're in your 40s. Next, we have some feedback on when I was talking about Amazon Prime shipping speed. A little update, it's not gotten any better. In fact, it's gotten even worse. If I try to order anything on Amazon now, it's usually 9 to 10 days out. But when people were responding to the Sunday Stuff and Things last week, it seems it was divided about 50-50, with some people having no issues whatsoever and some people having the same kinds of issues I was having. Some representative comments here. We have Rob P. says, I get stuff the next day or 2 days most of the time in New York. Best service I've seen. Love Prime. Maybe other parts of the country have it worse. And yes, we have it much worse here. I don't know why. Brian Vance says, I'm not sure why you're having shipping issues. While I still have a few things with same-day shipping, most Prime is either next day or 2 day. Same day, man, I've never had that. Nothing Prime is over 2-day shipping. Adding to another post, I still receive Saturday and Sunday shipments. Had 3 orders arrive yesterday, and one that was scheduled for Monday actually arrived on Sunday, a day early. All in all, haven't seen any change in Prime delivery. Marcelo Cast says, strange, Bradley. Here in New Jersey is the opposite. They are offering more and more same-day delivery. Yesterday morning, I bought a pair of earbuds, and it was here before 5 p.m. Weird. And then Hallie's Ledger and Lace says, I noticed the same thing with Prime. Extremely vexing. Nothing's all said. Judging by comments here, the shipping problems seem regional. But yeah, here in Western New York State, I have the same issue with free 2-day shipping as you. Also, all of our Amazon locker alternate delivery locations have been closed up as well. First world problems, like you said, but still annoying. And a lot of other people were saying that they were having the issues with the much more lengthy times for Prime shipping. And it's interesting because one person was in New York City, another person was in Western New York. They had the exact opposite experience. I am in Western Washington, right on the I-5 corridor. You would think it would be fine here, but it is not. And I have not been able to get any sort of information from Amazon. I actually called one of their customer service representatives. I told them that I was unhappy with the shipping and mentioned that, that's the only reason I'm paying for Prime. So is this going to continue? Is this just the way it is now? They did not have an answer for me. They did give me the line of, well, it's always said that it was 2 days from when the item shipped, but then I reminded them that it didn't used to be that way. I used to get things in 2 days, and that it used to say Prime 2-day shipping, and now when I log into Amazon, it says free Prime shipping. It does not say 2-day anymore. And I said, so is this the change? Is this the way it's going to be from now on? She did not know, but she said she would forward my concerns to the Amazon.com quality assurance team. So I'm sure nothing will happen with that. But if this is the way that Prime is going to be from now on for me, then I will cancel my Prime because there's no reason for me to have it. Next, we have comments on the Casio G-Shock GW5000U review. I love this watch. This watch is fantastic. You should check out the review posted last Wednesday. The Piper's Mantle said, my neighbor's in the Army, and most of the people he serves with wear the OD green version. For a watch that can take a lot of abuse in different environments, they come highly recommended. Jason Hunt says, when I was a young man in the 80s, I begged my father for a radio wristwatch after watching Knight Rider. Did he have a radio wristwatch? I don't think I've ever actually seen Knight Rider. And he got me a cheap Casio, one that I cherished for years until it got ruined in the wash. I loved that watch, and to this day, I always stop to look anytime I see a Casio timepiece in a Casio store. And there are a lot of the classic Casio digital watches still made by Casio. They actually have a vintage line where they have remade a lot of those old Casio watches, and it's pretty cool. You can get some for like $20, $30, $40, and they're the classic 80s Casio digital watches, so you should check that out. Thanks for all the feedback, gang. Please keep it coming in, but now it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below. There is also a super thanks button if you would like to support the channels that way. But your support is super helpful. Helps pay for the fancy camera filming this video, lights that are shining upon me, products for review, all that good stuff. And every week, we like to shout out those people who support the channels at $25 or more a month. People like Kirk Crompton, Glenn, Jason Buckner, Gloria Phillips, MDoftheNorth, David Gaudreau, Nick Papageorgio, John Tice, Ryan McFadden, and Finn O'Hagan. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month. People like Bob Magee and Ashes of the Phoenix. And we can't forget our Hall of Fame member, our dearly departed friend, Peter Straub. Gang, thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned. Again, I don't have it to show you because it's gone. Stay tuned for the review. of GLP's Maltese Falcon coming up this Wednesday. Soonish will be the timeless style video on my peacoat, my 1966 Navy issue peacoat. Endless Station video coming up soon. Endless Stationery video coming up soon. I hope you all are starting to get into holiday kind of mindsets and that you're going to be able to enjoy the holidays this year. But until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a very pleasant Sunday. Stuff and Things. Whew, I felt like I talked a lot there. I'll see you later.